Hello, good people. This is Plain Vanilla Grandma, and I'm going to make strawberry cream cheese cake roll. Hello, friends. I'm finally going to make this cake. Now, I'm going to prepare the pan the way I always have with Crisco, because you know my cooking skills. I'm not going to mess with what has worked for me before. But I guess you could use nonstick spray. I don't know. I'm not going to risk it. Because you know how my projects turn out. But anyway, I'm trying to do this one-handed, guys. I'm going to grease this cookie sheet. This is a 10 by 15, more or less. This is hard to do one-handed. But I'm just going to get it greased up. And then I'm going to put a piece of wax paper over this. I'll have to have both hands to do that. Hang on. Like I said, I've been doing this cake since way before cooking spray was invented. So I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I greased that with Crisco, put a piece of wax paper down. I suppose now people would use parchment, but I'm not messing with what I've done before. I can't do this with one hand. I'm going to grease this whole cookie, this piece of wax paper. I'm going to trim the ends. I can't talk. Trim the ends off where I got it too big because I don't want them to burn in the oven or something. But anyway, this is how you prepare the pan. Grease it with Crisco. Put a piece of wax paper down. You know, squish it down in the seams and the edges really good. Grease it again. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll put the recipe in the description, but the first step is you beat 3 eggs until light and lemon colored. Then you gradually add in 1 cup of sugar and beat until it's thick. So I'm going to do that and we'll be back. Okay, I have the eggs and the sugar mixed. The next step is to add 1½ teaspoons of vanilla and 5 tablespoons water. After I get that mixed up, then I'm going to sift the dry ingredients, which would be 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt. And then when I get that mixed up, I'll add it to this and we'll be ready to put it in the pan. I'll be back. This is our cake batter. I'm going to pour it into that cookie sheet. And I'm going to bake it 12 to 15 minutes at 375. So, I'll show you to you when it comes out of the oven. Okay, I'll be back. Guys, you know me. My 9-year-old granddaughter said to me earlier this year, Grandma, just don't go in the kitchen without one of us. And that is the truth. I went to put this in the oven, which we had to clean because of that pizza fiasco. And I have the oven hot at 375, opened it up, and the oven racks weren't in there because Casey had washed those too. So I went and found the oven racks, opened the door, tried to get them in, couldn't get them in, and the smoke alarm went off because it's very sensitive to heat. Casey's coming over to rescue me. Okie dokie, I'm on the other side of my kitchen now. I got it out of the oven. It cooked for exactly 12 minutes, and it bounces back when I touch it. The next step is you take another piece of wax paper and you sift powdered sugar over it. I'm going to let this cool for a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it out onto this powdered sugar. Whew, I'll show you in a second. Okay, I let it cool in this pan for 3 minutes, and I flipped it over with my hand under it onto this wax paper with the powdered sugar. And I've often wondered, and I'll try next time, why don't we cover it with powdered sugar here, lay the sheet of wax paper on top of it, and then invert it. But I was going by the directions I've always used, and of course, since I was filming this for you, it did not turn out perfect. Some of it stuck to the wax paper. I think it didn't really cool enough because I had it on this. Oh, there's a piece of cake. Okay, and then see this right here that's kind of hard? I'm going to cut that off. So, cut off any hard edges. But Actually, this is going to be okay because it's the filling that is the best part. Now I'm going to roll it up. Okay, now I've got it rolled up. I'm squishing it here between my canisters and my drink and the bowl. And I'm going to let it cool completely. Meanwhile, I've got my butter and my cream cheese in the bowl to soften. That is a 1/4 cup of butter, 2/3 cup of sugar down in there, and 8 ounces of cream cheese. It also calls for 1/2 tablespoon of light corn syrup, Karo. I don't have any, so we're leaving that out. And after I get this beaten, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, some red food coloring, and 1½ cups of sliced strawberries. So I'm going to go slice strawberries now. Okay, this is actually 1 cup of strawberries. This is not a 1/2 cup. It's almost, 3/4 of a cup, close to a cup. But if a little strawberry is good, a lot's better, right? It calls for 1.5 cups. I'm going to put this much. Okay, I'm still waiting on that butter to get a little more soft before I can whip it up. To tell you, oh, there's a strawberry down there. I meant to tell you that I just sliced these up with my Dollar Tree little paring knife. I love those knives. But if my grandson had been here, he would have sliced these up with the egg slicer for me. But I wanted them in smaller chunks so every bite would get some strawberry in it. But he likes to do that with the egg slicer. Okay, there's my cream cheese and my strawberries. Since I didn't have that 1/2 tablespoon of light corn syrup, I put in a tad bit more sugar. And here's my cake unrolled. I've got some foil under it because I'm going to roll it back. I'm going to roll it back up and put it in the refrigerator overnight. Always before, I would put the filling in, roll it back up, and seal it up with foil and freeze it. And then when I was ready to slice it up and serve it, I would get it out of the freezer, frozen, slice it up and put slices on dessert plates and set on the table. And then when my kids got through eating their meal, by the time they were done with that, the cake would be thawed. But my freezer's full, and I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator. It is 10:12 at night. I'm going to do that and let it stay in the fridge all night, and I'll slice it for you tomorrow because I'm just tired. Okay, I'll show you it rolled up. Okay, here it is rolled up. I'm going to, as I rolled it, I just peeled the wax paper off. Then I'm going to seal this up with the aluminum foil and put it in the fridge, and tomorrow we'll slice it and hope it'll look pretty. I'm just trying to see if you can see what the end is like, but that's not such a pretty picture. Anyway, see you in the morning.